Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me on a scorching hot day outside of Modena in Italy at the home of Pagani. Today we're going to go inside to take a first look at the brand new Pagani Huayra Roadster BC. We'll also explore here at the HQ, check out the museum, see some of the cars from the past. We'll also go to the assembly plant to see the newest ones being produced. But most importantly, I'm excited to see the new Huayra Roadster BC, so let's head straight on in then and go check it out. This is the new Pagani factory. It's actually a building designed by Horacio Pagani himself. You will spot the Zonda parked just there as well, but we're going to head on in. The museum is just inside the doors. We'll be going straight through though, I think, to take a look at this new car. Here we go. Take a look in here. The car is arriving, but just feast your eyes over the assembly hall here. That down there is the new Pagani Huayra Roadster BC. Look at this. Wow. It's actually an all-new design to the car. The aero, look at that wing. This whole room needs some taking in. Sounds mightily impressive as well. There's a lot to talk about in here as well, but let's head straight down then and take a look at this. Let's get started then up close to go through all of the details of the new car, but I am very excited right now because they have just invited me later on to jump on board the prototype version of the Roadster BC to go out for a ride to experience what it's like, so don't go anywhere. But first up, let's take a walk around to go through the details, and I think you're probably noticing immediately the aggression of the Huayra Roadster BC. It has massively been dialed up. Around the front, you've got the extension of this front splitter. You have the flicks and canards around the side. You've got those new louvres with almost a gurney integrated into the front of them. If you come towards the back, that gigantic rear wing sitting there high up in the air and the full width of the car as well. Then down below, the diffuser, also very aggressive and housing new exhaust tailpipes. A surprise down there in addition to the four that you have at the back, and I'll talk more about those in a moment. It's wearing the number 20 on the side, representing Pagani's 20th anniversary this year, 2019, since their first Zonda back in 1999. And that car as well also actually connects to the name of this. The first ever customer of Horacio Pagani was Benny Caiola, and his initials BC are now being worn by their more track-focused and racetrack-orientated cars, which of course is exactly what this is. But don't be fooled, there is also some reworked suspension to make it more comfortable. The car has a new engine, entirely new bodywork when compared to the Pagani Huayra Roadster as well, so there is a lot to talk about when it comes to this. If we rewind back a little bit, the Huayra was introduced about 6 or 7 years ago, the first one with a 6-litre twin-turbocharged V12 making 730 horsepower. That was followed by the Huayra BC, of which there were only 20 units. Power was taken up to 755, and then after that came this car, the Huayra Roadster. 100 of these, power up again, 764 horsepower in fact. But since this, the new car has a new engine, working again with AMG. The engine that finds itself into this is actually the one that's been developed for the next generation Pagani, codenamed C10, where the Huayra is actually the C9. And this car, from its 6-litre twin-turbo V12, actually makes a gigantic 802 horsepower and 1,050 newton meters. That's connected as well to the 7-speed X-Track automated gearbox, as seen before, for a proper real and raw experience. And that's what the Huayra offers from my first experience driving it, although things have changed quite substantially since. It is very much a work of art. Just come and have a look quickly here at the interior. Lightweight components wherever possible. The entire weight of this, and remember it's an open-top convertible, is actually just 1,250 kilos. That's 30 kilos lighter than the Roadster, even though it has the addition of all of this extra aero, adding more bodywork, being made from lightweight carbon fiber, and some of the materials that go into this are actually truly astonishing. Let me quickly show you inside here. It's built around their Carbotanium tub. So the lightweight carbon fiber tub that you have, even carpets removed now and replaced with carbon fiber. And this is one thing that's actually pretty cool. If I just demo, the whole bodywork is carbon. If you listen to the noise, you get that kind of tapping noise on anything carbon. If you look at the floor, they've given it additional damping properties, and it's very, very muted. All the details like that. Even the roof panel you can spot just over there, which we'll have a look at later on, all done to make it quiet as well and refined, while also being immensely hardcore. I think when you close the door, the window slides back up there. But just look at this, look at it. It still has the design that we loved from the Huayra underneath, that of course is such a flagship piece, but everything about this car has been updated. I think they said not one bodywork part is shared with the Roadster. It is all new for the Roadster BC. So there are 40 units, plus their 4 prototypes. If we look up close, you still have the active aero flaps here at the front, also at the rear. You can see those rear flaps lifted up at the moment, but down here, just look at this. Of course, a lot of cooling flow needed, and in fact, they're saying a lot of aerodynamics inside the car have also been reworked to give it the downforce figure that it has, 500 kilos in total. Of course, that means there's a lot of pressure down towards the front end, particularly on braking, so they've even recalibrated the software so that it uses the front airlift system to actually press up against the front pushing down if it thinks it might be loading it too far, because remember, flat bottom floor, Venturi effect. This thing, they actually said in testing, they achieved 1.9 consistent G's cornering and a peak of 2.2. Those are some pretty big numbers, thanks in part to a new tyre, a new Pirelli P0 Trofeo R. We've also got new wheels, 20-inch at the front, 21-inch at the rear. So the car, well, entirely carbon, lightweight components, fully updated, looking spectacular, sounding amazing as we heard as well earlier on. And just look at the work going on through there. I'm going to lift up the rear clam as well so that we can take a better look at that. But first, even here, look at the openings, all for airflow around the side of the car. I mentioned also these louvres, the gurney flap style, the way they lift up and flick up, that's to create an area of low pressure just behind, so that the airflow can be sucked and pulled through the car to keep it as clean as possible. And again, even the rear wing, have a look at this. If you're wondering why you've got these additional fins, for example, here, those are to do with cleaning up the air that's coming over the back of the car, likewise around the side, to maximize the downforce that you get out of it. You can see the engine just through that glass window, a stunning, stunning thing that we're going to reveal in more detail in a second. So let me just open up the door. We've got these lovely latches. Just open these very quickly. He says, always a little bit of a challenge. There we go. Feed that through, release the latch. I'm going to head around to the other side to do exactly the same around here before we can fully open it up. So you have the door handle pulls just there. Pull that open. Then you've got these latches. Just pull it up this way. Release that. Done. Release the catch. And even this rear clam is easy to open, just one-handed, and you get that astonishing view behind there. So the new engine, a new display as well, still wearing the AMG, a full-to-back being developed and built by AMG at their base near to Stuttgart in Germany. But back here, an absolute work of art. This, the new power plant, all finished in carbon fiber, lightweight, everything as thin as possible, but still extremely strong as well. You can see the independent suspension, the electronically controlled independent suspension, and just look at the purple of the titanium of the exhaust system. But one of the things about a Pagani is the attention to detail. Everything that you look at, for example, all the bolts all have a Pagani logo on them. These are the storage compartments, one on each side where you can get the fitted luggage. It also fits just behind the seats. Everything about it is a masterpiece. Look at the width of those tyres. 355 section tyres at the rear, gigantic things, 265 at the front, slightly wider than on the Roadster before, but again, all the details, all of the etching, the Roadster BC, the interior of it, where the key is actually here as well. The Roadster itself introduced the keyless system, so the key for the car is here in the shape of a Huayra, looking very nice. The lock and unlock buttons on the top of it, that can sit in place just there, and then you hit the start-stop button in front. And this is actually another detail, the shift knob. This is inspired by Horacio Pagani's favourite car, the Porsche 917. So the wooden finish interlaced with carbon fibre. We can come around and just actually see a little bit of that with the sample pieces you've got here. Really, really nice touch, and just like back in the old Porsche race car. Now here is another example of some of the carbon fibre. The original Huayra had a carbon piece, which is pretty strong, but you can bend it. Then for the Huayra Roadster, they used new styles, new methods, made it even stronger, still bend it, but much, much harder. Then you've got the Roadster BC's material, and this is like not really bending as hard as I push it. So you can see that they've upgraded and improved through the years. Also here, the roof panel, 4 kilos lighter than the one on the Roadster by not having a glass roof, by having it just made from carbon fibre, with the design livery over the top, but also those 2 fins, again, helping with airflow that goes over the top of the car. So really and truly, you just look at this, everything about it is so, so magnificent. All of the details here for the meshing, they don't just use, a normal crisscross mesh, they have their own design entirely. The LED running lights there in that lower aero part as well I am mind blown walking around here. The carbon brakes, you even have Roadster BC there on the wheels as well. All of the details just absolutely breathtaking and amazing, amazing, amazing to look at and explore. And down here, as I alluded earlier, you now have these additional exhaust tips, which are, I believe, effectively straight pipes, meaning you will hear even more sound out of the car. And it's actually the first Pagani to feature a switchable exhaust valve button, which is just down here. You've got these two buttons, one for extra comfort and one with the 4 exhaust tailpipes to open the valves and make it all a touch noisier. But look at this, look at the interlinked system that you have there, how exposed it all is. Magnificent details everywhere. What a car, and what an opportunity to take a first look at it. Yeah, open in transformer mode. The front clam also opens upwards as well. In the Zondas you could store away the soft fabric roof. In the Huayras, of course, with the fixed Targa top, that's not necessarily possible. But this car, 1250 kilos, only 35 kilos heavier actually than the BC Coupe, despite having a new and more powerful engine up on the horsepower, slightly down from the 1100 Newton meters of torque, but all updated, upgraded, and pretty much entirely new. Wow. It's time then, back out in the sunshine, to experience this, the prototype of the Huayra Roadster BC. Of course, decorated in camouflage. This is their test car that they've been putting miles on to discover this new engine, and the sound of it is actually completely different to the cars before. So, prototype, not final production car, but let's take a step inside here. And one thing, just to really quickly show you, you can have the 4-point harnesses, or they can tuck away into that pouch behind, which is really quite convenient. So, stepping in, test car loaded with lots of equipment. Close the door, put a belt up, and then we're going to head on out and experience a small amount of what this is like. Out we go then. So this is always an exciting moment to experience the car. We're currently in sport mode, but the noise of it, and so we just cruise on out, hearing the sound, the whine, the swooshes. And look at that view in the mirror, the literal wing mirror, not a door mirror, it's hanging out on the front wings. The downshifts are very fast as well, 30% quicker than the Huayra Roadster, about 75 milliseconds. Yeah, like this it drives pretty well. Listen to that! Wow, what a sound! Wow, the pops and bangs! That exhaust system is epic! Listen to those sounds! It just cracks away on liftoff. You've got all that sucking and swooshing noise from the turbos. The Huayra always did a lot of that. And then it just pops and bangs. That's so good. The torque. So previously, when the Pacchetto Tempesto, over a bump there, the Pacchetto Tempesto was introduced, you got all those extra bangs out of the exhaust. The BC did that. And now, yeah, the Roadster BC. We're back in comfort then, and this is where you could have it in comfort with the exhaust valves opened if you wanted to, press that button, and you can make it extra soft as well if you wanted to with that button.
Yeah, with this we have the system for the maximum comfort system, have a limit for the strategy, 120 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
If you have a comfort, switch in super soft, go in super soft, but after 120 kilometers per hour, switch in normal comfort, normal setup. And at the same time, in the comfort, if you want to open the exhaust for emotional sound, push the button. And then
more noise.
Open the valve and you have the more sound. In comfort, we don't have the backfire. This part a little. In the race,
all of the sound.
Yeah.
as well. The sounds of all of this though.
You ready for the maximum torque?
Uh-oh.
Over 1,000 Newton meter.
Yeah, and you feel it. You feel that torque. The cornering is flat, completely flat. Sticking to the ground.
For my opinion, I'll be using the car only in the race.
Yeah.
For me.
But racing with the roof off. You've also got these extra pieces of the wind deflector as well that get installed when the roof is off. You can see how the roof latches. But by having those on, it deflects the wind away. It's actually not very blustery at all in here. And you get the whole view of the blue sky. It's the view backwards over the engine bay. Wow. Feel like controls up there on the roof. Other controls going on front as well. Just the fit and finish and quality is so nice. Roadster BC embroidery, the Alcantara here for the door cards. Some pockets down here, it's your latch to open the door. Back at the factory. What a sound. What's next then is for me to hop on out very quickly so that we can jump to the outside and hear how this exhaust sounds. So let me come round, just so we can take a little listen to this. From the back, look at the exhaust tip sticking out of the diffuser. Right, let's hear how this sounds. That's really strange because you're expecting the sound to come from here, but lots of it comes out from down at the bottom. Closed, and then with the valve open. When it makes those cracks, it's like a gunshot going off. You just have to hold your fingers in your ear. Right, so that was quite an experience with the prototype then. That's going to be packed back away. Short little run out to get a feel for what this was actually like out on the road. Well, that was pretty epic, but I'm back now at the factory, kicking off with a quick tour of the museum because there are some very special and significant cars in here to explore up this line. And the first one, rotating in front of us, is actually Zonda La Nonna. That means grandmother. This was the second Zonda prototype, and it's a special car as well for me because I actually experienced probably the ride of my life in this car about 6 or 7 years ago. But basically, it's been through all of the different iterations. It started life, then it became an S, then an F, then a Cinque, then a 760. Now it's been retired with over 500,000 kilometers on the clock. If we continue up a few of the different variants, the Zonda S with the 7.3, then you've got the Zonda F limited to just 25. That's the first one of those. The F standing for Fangio. We've also got an F Roadster, then the Zonda Cinque Roadster. This is number 5 out of 5. Cinque, the Italian word literally 4-5. They made 5 coupes, 5 roadsters, and this is regarded as one of the very best. Then next to that, we've got the Zonda R Chassis number 7. This is the car that set the Nürburgring Nordschleife record back at the time. And look at the rear, look at that engine. Wow, stunning work going on there. The systems, the pipe work back towards the exhaust as well. Of course, without the rear clam, it would normally be with a ginormous wing going on back here. But this, as a place to explore, also joined by some of the models, some of the various different things, the artworks, the sketches, the history of Pagani as a company, now 20 years old, but having created these unbelievable cars. And if we just continue down, this is one of the prototypes as well of the Pagani Huayra, the original Huayra. I think this might even be the very car that I test drove as well back at the time. Not entirely sure, but in any case, you can see how it's evolved into the car that we've been looking at today as well, with some of these astonishing models too, in great detail. And this whole area, also cars that Horatio raced, built, different projects he worked on as well in his younger days too. So this, as a little museum, is a great place to see some of the history and learn a little bit about where this all came from. Now though, straight into the factory, to the assembly department, the production line right behind me where the magic happens. Let's take a little little look around here, but before we go into some detail, just taking in the venue itself, Pagani opened this facility a couple of years ago, designing it from the ground up specifically for the purpose. And if you look around in the background, all of this brickwork on the walls and the pillars is all designed to be in the modernese style, the local style of brickwork, but all specially made just for Pagani, even the logo up there on the wall as well. So at the back, you've got the composites department where the carbon fiber is manufactured. Upstairs, all of the different molds being made to create the body parts, the internal parts, some of the smaller components as well. The autoclaves are up at the very back. And then down here, you have a couple of stages on the assembly line where the cars literally come together. This is such a clean, neat and tidy environment. Lots of space around the cars, and you can see how they go from the carbon fiber tub that we're looking at right here through towards the completed car that you've got behind. But this, with the cage section going over the top, there are 100 different types of setup of carbon fiber, the way it's manufactured in terms of the different layers and materials that are actually used through the various components within the car. If you come past actually just to see one that's a little bit further through the process, here you've got a number of components installed. The front sub-assembly, the ceramic discs, huge discs, but every component's so neat and tidy and clean in its finish. And Pagani have always had this really large style weave in the carbon, of course protected so it doesn't get damaged while it's being worked on here. And this Huayra Roadster, have a look at the engine. Of course, this is now, well, the C9 engine, the slightly previous one. Check out there, you've got handcrafted by Michael Kubler, famously known as F1 Mike in a Falterback. That's again the 6-litre twin-turbo V12, but just look at all of this, look at the suspension setup, look at the artwork of that exhaust. Literally, it's a magnificent thing to actually behold. Again, you can see visual differences in the various bits of carbon, lots of titanium used, basically all lightweight components wherever possible to make these cars ultimately as light as they can be when they are fully assembled, and you can see them in more detail. But even the racks carrying things around here are all beautifully presented, all tidy, all spacious, all, well, more like a museum than an assembly plant or a factory. To give you more of a sense of the quality, have a look at these. The Roadster door cards getting ready to go in, here made from ostrich leather in fact, but all beautifully prepared. And remember, every single car is created bespoke. The different materials, the different color combinations, the different finishes. It's a full process that takes 6 to 8 months to have the car actually built, and that's when you've already decided how exactly you want it to be. Here the central console as well, you can see all of the switch gear, again machined and looking beautiful. Here we've got the rear sub-assembly, the engine being mated to the framework that goes around it before it's taken over to the car. And then have a look again at what I was saying about the presentation. Look at the components that you have here. Also for a Huayra Roadster, the engine covers, you can see the Roadster lettering, the central console, you've got the roof switch gear there. Having a look up, look at the machined Huayra Roadster badge, a lovely piece that's actually machined from one large block. You've got some of the suspension components up top as well, all painted and finished in the gold and looking lovely. Everything that goes into the cars is a work of art before it's actually even placed into the car itself. Have a quick look at these, the autoclaves, effectively the ovens for carbon fiber. This first one is actually Horacio Pagani's original autoclave. It's been painted to match with the others, but this is where he started using carbon fiber and learning how to use it for these components. The other two are of course ginormous. They need to be large enough in order to fit the carbotanian tubs, also the large components like the side skirts, the rear clamshell, which is of course huge as well. And look at the details. I absolutely love this. Painted with Pagani of course, but even here you've got carbon fiber with the same style of nuts used on the cars. This is all the attention to detail everywhere you look around this location. Well, that's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour, taking in the factory and the museum, seeing a little bit more about how the likes of the Pagani Huayra come together. There is one thing in front of me though still to show you just here. Just like the rest of the building, they have the modernese style clock tower which actually chimes on the hour as well, but we came to see this, to take this car in, which is really and truly something to behold. The more I've learnt about it, the more I've understood of it. I've seen the steps ahead and the movements onwards from an engineering perspective, but also still looking so good, still being a work of art. The thing Paganis are always famed for is how they manage to look. This car mixes significant amounts of aerodynamic downforce along with a car that still manages to look so good as well. The positioning of the mirrors, always such an iconic thing, but the aggression of the aero integrated to the smoothness of the gurney flaps around the front, those sharp lines and the colour colour scheme of this car in particular, with the exposed carbon fibre, the primary colour of the metallic silver, but also the red and white accents that you have around. And no doubt when customers start configuring their cars out of the 40 that are going to be made, we just heard one start up in the background, they're going to come up with some amazing designs for what they can achieve and how they can make them look as well. For me though, I've enjoyed today's experience an awful lot, discovering about this, hearing a lot more about it, and I hope you've enjoyed being able to see both this car for the first time, see a little bit of the experience going out in one, and of course of where they're actually manufactured and assembled as well here at the Pagani factory in Italy. Well, all good things have to come to an end, but what a visit again here to the factory of Pagani. They're based just outside of Modena in Italy. Today we've checked out the brand new Huayra Roadster BC. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think of the new car. The opportunity to go out to experience it though, something pretty memorable for me as well. Hearing those noises, the backfire cracks, but just seeing the car and taking it all in, as well as looking and exploring here in the museum and on the assembly line to see, as I said, where the magic happens. So thank you very much for watching as always. I appreciate your support an awful lot, and an extended thanks as well to Pagani for the opportunity to come down today to take a look around and to be able to share it with you. So that's it for this time. Thank you very much as always for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.